Hey there, I have a question for you. Are you a healthy eater? Do you follow a certain eating system? For example, are you vegan or vegetarian? Or do you eat mostly fish and are a pescatarian? Or mostly beef and are carnivore? I recently heard that 70% of children eat processed food, mostly food products, not real food, and 60% of adults, and this is in America, eat mostly processed foods. When we went to Italy, we saw a better way, and I'll tell you about it.
English without fear, where you can learn to speak English naturally through listening to stories.
Recently, Mike and I spent 15, 16 days in Italy, and each day we ate lunch in a different restaurant. In the evenings, we would stop at the grocery store and buy food and cook in the rental house. What I learned from how we ate and looking around at people and the plates and the choices they were enjoying in the restaurant, I noticed a vast difference, a large difference between how we Americans approach food, how we think about food, how we eat food, fix food, and how the Italians do. For example, the portions, the size of the food that they brought to us was a lot smaller than portions or quantity of food we serve here in America in restaurants. They're often twice as much, twice as large. And if you look around at Americans, if you live here, you can see that. Yes, the Italians eat pasta and pizza, but they don't eat as much as we do in America. The food was fresh, local products, vegetables and fruits that were in season. In America, if you live here in Alabama, you can get strawberries all year long, trucked in from I don't know where. In Italy, the vegetables and fruits that were available were more local, fresher. So portions were smaller, fresher food, and we use here in America a lot of unhealthy oils. They're called seed oils. In Italy, they tend to use olive oil and real butter. Another difference that we noticed is how much time Italians spend enjoying food. Most of our lunches were at least an hour and a half, and we watched the people around us. They too were enjoying one another, eating with friends, eating with family, talking, slowing down during the middle of the day. We watched school children also enjoying food with family, and if the restaurant was near school. One day we noticed a grandpa and his granddaughter. Her school was right next door to the restaurant, and she sat at the table with her grandpa. They had a long meal. She did some homework, and we looked at the other students when they had finished lunch, they were walking around enjoying some leisure time talking. So it seems to me Italians don't rush. Here in America, we throw down our foods at lunchtime. We don't eat together. People often eat at work, or people eat while looking at their phones. So there's that aspect. Another important difference is that all the processed foods we consume are terrible for us. Now, what is a processed food? To be truthful, a processed food is whenever you change the substance. If you cook a piece of meat, you've processed it. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the additives, the chemicals, the preservatives to keep the food stable so it can have a long shelf life. A shelf life date is the amount of time a box of cereal or a bag of chips can stay on the shelf and still be edible. They call that a shelf life. And big companies, big food processing companies, add all sorts of who knows what to these food products. They're not food, it's food products. And that's what Americans consume. There are research labs, chemistry labs in these food companies that spend hours and money studying how to get you, the American, addicted to their product. So they add a lot of salt or they add a lot of sweetener, fake sweetener, to make you want to eat more. It's terrible and it's not good for our bodies. The other aspect of this healthy lifestyle is that people walk more. It's hard to find a place to park. So if you're going to eat in a restaurant, you're going to have to park maybe far away and walk. In America, people don't like to walk. So we have drive-ins. So you can pick up your food, or so you can have somebody deliver your processed food to you. The school lunches that our kids eat, processed foods, fake food. Anyway, Mike and I came home from our experience in Italy more convinced that eating slowly, eating real food, eating fresh and local food, and eating smaller portions is the way to be healthy. So what about you and your culture? How do you approach food? I'd love to know, so leave me a comment below this video, and here's to healthier eating. Ciao!